Welcome to MzansiOZ Diary, Justice Unmuted, where we tell the stories others won't. Today's episode, it's about a shocking scandal in Tshwane, Pretoria. How a Somali business leader tried to pressure a mayor after serious illegal activities were uncovered at Mamelodi Spaza shop. Let's unpack the story. So recently, Tshwane is Pretoria, the capital city of South Africa. Tshwane Mayor Dr. Nasiphi Moya, who represents Action SA, which is the centre-right party in South Africa that is governing Pretoria, so made headlines when she exposed a call made by Abdikadir Mohammed, who is a Somali immigrant living in South Africa. He's a prominent leader in the Somali community, business community in South Africa. He allegedly contacted her after the city shut down a cash and carry Spaza shop in Mamelodi.
Residents of Tshwane were back in Mamelodi this morning. We are in Mamelodi Cash and Carry. You have alerted me that they've reopened after they were closed 2 weeks ago. Particularly this one is closed because they've built this nonsense on the servitude. And they've been given notices. They were closed down, but the arrogance of these people is unmatched. So upstairs, they stay inside this shop. We have found cash machines, even with the receipts of almost R1 million printed just for one day. So these people are here to milk the economy. They don't pay tax, and they are breaking our laws left, right, and center. We are back. One thing is to process the ones behind me. As you can see, they are all Ethiopians. And we're going to close down the shop again and just follow up in terms of the demolition, because we must demolish this. But residents of Mamelodi, there is economy in informal sector. Do not listen to them when they say there's no money. If this shop alone can make R1 million per day, how much more if our people were taking this opportunity? It's your opportunity. We're closing them down. It's up to you what you do.
That shop is now under investigations for a list of shocking violations. When I say shocking, it's understatement. I think a while ago I may have given you a few episodes after a couple of children died in South Africa, and 50 plus kids are dying in South Africa after consuming snacks from these Spaza shops that are run by immigrants in South Africa. Now, since then, the ANC government had freaked out and cooked up a registration, which it is a sham. If you still have people running this Spaza shop not complying with the bylaws of how to run a shop that sells food to the public, and they still blatantly do what we now been shown on television in this Spaza shop, that you then have to question this registration, whether it's actually proper, whether in the first place these people should be given a chance to even open these shops in South Africa, right? But let me give you then the detailing about what was found in this cash and carry Spaza shop. When I say Spaza shop, the language is a little bit different in South Africa. Spaza shop, we mean convenient shop in a remote outside areas of the major cities. So this is Mamelodi's outside, about 30 kilometers outside of the city of Pretoria. So this is the Mamelodi would be the Bantustan, the township in under the apartheid South Africa. So, but now it's township. Okay, we call them township. All right. So now a few months ago, I mean not a month actually, a few weeks ago, Dr. Nasiphi Moya went to this Spaza shop and showed a video where a fuel tank was installed illegally inside the premises, a major fire and safety hazard. A fuel tank installed inside the premises. Oh, golly. It doesn't end there. They also found a 1 million rand plus cash inside the shop, raising a major red flags about financial transparency. And it's not illegal actually. You cannot hold that kind of money in your shop and be legal under the South African law. That's another thing that they found. They found allegedly he was harboring undocumented foreign nationals, undocumented illegal immigrants inside this Spaza shop. Potential human trafficking or labor exploitation concerns. As I've said it before, these people who are being exploited are found in these houses in South Africa, are being locked up and in inhumane manner. It is a human trafficking ring that is very much so allegedly perpetuated by the very people who either themselves got the citizenship to be in South Africa or they got these whatever visa they got, but they then start trafficking their own people from their country, and then they keep in these inhumane conditions in South Africa. This is the story. But with this investigation of the police, every time what they do, they find the illegal immigrants. But they don't ask themselves, I want to know why they don't ask themselves, who brings these people? Who is actually involved? Who is the kingpin of these human trafficking ring? I would allege that these people like Abdikadir Mohammed are actually embedded in this human trafficking ring. These people who are these people who are head of this organization of whatever group of immigrants are in South Africa, they're the one where the investigation needs to start. You need to start there. All right, but this stuff, it's a bit beyond belief that someone would traffic their own people and keep them in these inhuman conditions. And they're going to tell you that when you complain and say this is unjust, that then, you're xenophobic to say that. How is that even fair? How does it make sense that you could traffic another human being and keep them in this type of inhumane condition? And then you expect citizens of that country not to say anything? If they do, then you say there's xenophobia. How is that even xenophobia? That's not xenophobia. You cannot, this is anyway, let me continue. So then it didn't stop there. Then they found that in the same place, they erected a building and structure with no planning permission or city approval. Perhaps the most damning and serious one, and a very concerning one, and likely to be the source of this problem, is this one here. the business owner tried to offer a bribe, allegedly, of 150,000 to a city official, so the city official can look the other way, which is probably what I explained when you're seeing in other cities. Another city that is not run by center-right party, Action SA, in city like Johannesburg, where the ANC is running that place, that you have a lot of them there. There's a lot of them found in houses in a very wealthy neighborhood, with these being kept inhumane, and then they're getting found there. But you don't hear anything from that mayor doing anything about making sure that people who are running these shops are registered. First of all, they register the business, they have a right to trade. They're not running these illegal shops that have become so deadly so far, killed so many children. I mean, is only the country like South Africa would actually allow such behavior to continue to thrive, that there are people like that to continue to run this business. But it's South Africa we're talking about here. Security is non-existent. It's non-existent. If you, as a country, you can allow people to do this, not to follow just the simple law of registration, applying, planning approval, not put a fuel tank and build a fuel tank inside the house, and then have the nerve to ring a mayor of a city to talk to the mayor. The mayor is not her responsibility. She's not responsible for that. She's not a law, not a law enforcement officer. But if you break the law, she will close. She's got a right and part to close that, to prevent a business from trading in Tshwane, from not trading at all until you meet those regulations and standards that is required. It's not for the business person to ring the mayor. It's for business person to ensure that they comply with the laws. And this stuff here that we allege on this phone calls, where you could ask yourself, where is the police? What is the police doing about this? What are they doing about this phone call? So what made this case blow up, really? It's because the chairperson, the business council, the person on top of that organization, that claim is the person who understands the law of South Africa, rang the mayor instead of addressing these legal violations reportedly by the mayor. And also we had the phone call as well.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right, sir. How are you?
All right, sister. I am the chairperson of the Somali community board of South Africa, and I've been looking for you long, and thank you for your calling me back.
Okay.
I'll send you the email and the head letter on your WhatsApp. And I was busy to see you, but still I don't get you.
Why do you need to see me?
The issue of Mamelodi.
What's the issue?
For those shops, there's a non-compliance.
Is it comply?
The non-compliance shops for that Mamelodi Cash and Carry was closed, and the province side was elimination for all the province side, and we removed and all that things I was need to discuss for you.
Why do you need to discuss with me?
Because the mayor, you are the head of the Tshwane, and we did what you was, and then we comply.
No, but the mayor doesn't have paperwork for you to comply. Either you comply or you don't. Do you comply?
Yes.
How do you comply if you have built a shop on the servitude? How do you comply when you have a fuel tank in your property without the necessary documentation? How do you comply if you have built on 4 properties without the approvals of the city?
Yeah, it's true.
So I heard that you tried to bribe one of our councillors with 150,000 rands. I heard that you've been reporting me to everyone who cared to listen. Is this how you work in your country?
No.
Then why are you disrespecting our laws? Are we a banana republic to you? Do you come here and do as you please? You don't pay taxes here. You keep cash up to R1 million in your property. You keep illegal immigrants in your property. And you want to come and disrespect me. You want to meet with me. What do I say to people who don't respect our laws?
We respect the laws, and we are compliant.
You are not compliant. We are not crazy.
He didn't ring there to apologize. If you listen to this phone call, he wanted the mayor to intervene and to stop the enforcement. That is also the biggest issue here, is that he had a nerve to ring a mayor of a town to stop the enforcement. And the thing is, I'm so glad that Dr. Nasiphi Moya had this phone call made it public, because, it just highlighted how the country has been run over the last 30 plus years. 30 years it's been run by lawlessness. No wonder the crime is so high in South Africa. It's this thing here. Because you could ask yourself now, has this group been doing the same in other locations where they work, in other jurisdiction, in Johannesburg, in Cape Town? Is the other group doing similar thing with the officials that you have elected to be put in place to make sure the law is actually respected, that people comply with the law to the T? Are they all being paid some money to look the other way around, as this phone call suggests? That's a question here. We need to be careful and ask this serious question. I like what Dr. Moya said, that he wasn't here to protect criminality. Whether you're South African, whether you are not a South African, the law applies to everyone, to every shop, big or small. The law, just before ANC took over the South African, before the turnover, demolishment of the apartheid government into the current ANC government, the law applies obviously differently between groups of South Africans, all right? And it applies differently, we know that. But laws at the time is the law of the land. If you did something different than what the law suggests, you are in trouble. So these people, for me, looks like they want to turn South Africa into the countries they're from. Just lawlessness. It's unbelievable. So another concern this individual, when I look at this organization, is the use of the symbol, state symbol, the South African government logo and symbol, the coats of arms, on their material. Why is the ANC government allowing this to happen? That's the question mark. Why is the organization, Somali organization, using South African government coats of arms in their marketing campaign? That's the question we need to ask. We saw a couple of days ago when the police was issuing a statement to another immigrant who was using a police, uniform and police logo online. I don't know how that one ended somewhere, because this stuff, of course, due to privacy and confidentiality, you don't get to know about. But we would like to know what the government is doing about this. Why is this Somali organization using South African coats of arms on its material? This is a potential misuse of state symbols. And there could be also an attempt to try to falsely suggest official endorsement, that they are an official endorsement while it's just an organization that they've created themselves. And now with this phone call, it suggests that at the top of that ladder of that organization, there is rampant with illegality. And the question is to the Minister of Police, what is he going to do about it? What is the minister going to do about it? What is it? Is this a symbol of that there are so many of them potentially who could be actually doing what he's demonstrated in this phone call? That is the question we need to ask. How deep is the informal economy's shadow sides? There's also another we need to ask about this. This big question about the national concern, safety. How deep is the informal economy's shadow side? Are immigrant-owned businesses being used as the fronts for illicit operations, or are they victims of exploitation themselves? Are they being used as the fronts for illicit operation, or are they victims of exploitations themselves? That is the question. What are the checks on political pressure and bribery in local governance? And what I mean is that, what about the safety of communities where these illegal operations takes place? The safety of this community where illicit goods are being sold, and illicit goods have been, we know so far have killed about nearly 50 plus kids in the same sort of structure. Could not be Mamelodi, but in the same Spaza shop types run by immigrants in South Africa. So what are the safeties of community? So we can see now for 100% that this registration was a sham. As I suspected, this was a sham, because there's already a law in South Africa that governs the registration, that if there's a shop that's now operating in South Africa without any registration, that shop is illegal, because there was a law before the ANC minister said they're going to register them. There was a law already in place. The food stuff, it's already there, so you don't need any new law. You just need to enforce it. The local government needs to enforce it. So you can see the difference in how Action SA is governing in South Africa, which is, I'm loving it. Because I'm loving it, and I think South Africans are beginning to see how to be governed efficiently. How it's actually like to be governed by competent governance. Because Pretoria, 80 years was run by DA. It was a nightmare. And as we said, DA doesn't govern for everyone. You can see at Cape Town, the nonsense that's happening in Cape Town. There's a lot of stuff happening there. If you move about 10 kilometers away from Cape Town, you can see all this stuff. and they don't govern for everyone. You need, when you elect a leader, the leader understand that if you're a mayor of a town, you're a mayor for people, everyone, poor, rich, middle, everyone. You are everyone. If you want safety is for every citizen. It's not just for rural community, it's for everyone. Safety. You cannot just say that you're going to have focus and prioritize certain crime and make a division, a ladder of crime, a priority of crime. Crime is bad, and crime affect all communities. So you gotta make sure that you really deal with it as it's with the crime, making sure no person feel unsafe in their country. So we support legal entrepreneur, including by immigrants. Many Somali, Ethiopian, and other foreign nationals run legitimate, essential business across South Africa. But this isn't about xenophobia, it's about accountability. If you're living in South Africa, your zip code should not determine your safety. A Spaza shop is not above the law, no matter who owns it.